talk business. No. I want to talk to you about how bad a businesswoman I am, or yeah, I can say it that way, but it's about my general experience with Etsy and how I go about making little projects sometimes. So as you probably know, I have an Etsy shop. It is closed at the moment, and I did last year I did a little book with Remus, and yeah, it's nice to have little books. And this year I was thinking, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing another one, especially when I was looking at my Inktober drawings. I was like, this could be a perfect little book, just the way it is, nothing more. And Nasty Draws looked at this as well, and she was like, yeah, do a book like this, just like this. It's perfect that way. Not putting any blame on her. I had this, and I was like, yeah, I've got the same idea. No blame, really. Just there's no blame for anything. It's just so I was like, yeah, I want to do this, and this wanting to do this idea sort of got stronger in my head, and then I just went ahead. I scanned everything. I put a little art book together. Retouched stuff, because I'm scanning this. You have the shadow here, so it wasn't tons of work, but it was already work. And my first idea was, this won't be much work anyway, I can just do that. So that was the first mistake. And I made a PDF, and I already had little samples. This is a sample of the paper, and that's why it has the stamp. But yeah, it's like full little books of my Inktober, and I was just sort of checking which paper I wouldn't mind. The first one was terrible, but I already had this one, which when I had it in my hand, I was like, yeah, there's still a couple of mistakes, which is again a little bit of work, but I could work with this. This could be my version. So, and then I did the math. Why did I do the math now? I should have done it before I even started working. So, and I think that's just like sort of the main point, what I wanted to talk about. I did the math. I asked myself, how many do I want to sell? And I was like, yeah, I don't think I can sell much more than 200, and selling all the books is a lot of work, so I don't really feel like doing that. So yeah, let's do 100. So I said, okay, 100 books. How can I price them? I was like, $5, €5. Yo-Yo said, are you crazy? You won't make any profit whatsoever. And I was like, yeah, you're right. 10 seems already pretty steep, but let's go with 10 for now. So I was like, okay, $10, 100 books. Wait a minute, that's 1,000 euros. Let's stay with euros now. I'm getting confused with dollars and euros. I'm talking euros here. So 1,000 euros. And I was like, hey, that's not much money for the amount of work I kind of put into it. Because producing one of these costs €2, roundabout. And I can't price it any higher than 10, because let's face it, it's 32 pages. No, I even think that paying 10 is a lot for this. And I don't think that I can sell much more either than 200 or 100 of these, because yeah, even though I have a lot of followers, the people who really pay money for this aren't that many. And I know this because I made the book of the last year, though. So when I made 500 of my little other book, and I sold 350 in the first month, and then the rest of the year I was selling the books. Every week I was like, and on Sundays I was checking who had ordered it, and like sort of little sums of money were coming in, and I've sold basically all of them, not complaining or anything. I just know that I won't sell that many, because I mean, the amount of people who bought the first book of mine, I mean, I think you can say, okay, about half of them at the most would want to buy another one, because I mean, I don't buy more than one book of somebody except if I really, 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 really adore them. So, I mean, I'd already say that the amount of people who would want to buy a book of mine should already be smaller, especially if it's just like this flimsy little booklet. And it's a very special interest thing. So I don't think that I could sell any more than 200. And so, and let's say with 100. And for that, the amount of work which I already put in, I put in the scanning, the research of the paper, the material, what I want to do, what kind of binding works. That already took a couple of evenings, and all the packaging, printing out the stamps, the addresses, printing out little it's not even invoices, it's a Paketschein, but I'm not sure what it is. It's just sort of the paper which says what you bought. Then later, after that, I have to write invoices, because due to German law, you can't sell something without having an invoice. So I wrote 300 and something invoices, which also took me quite a while. So if I think about how many little steps go into selling this flimsy little book, which I can't price very high, it's just, I really have to evaluate if it is worth it. I mean, I didn't think I would make much on it, but I really wouldn't make, it's not even the making of the money, it's more of the investment of the time, because I could do other stuff in the time. Just for you to sort of get an feel for it, I should make, that's due to a little book which says what freelancers should make, which I have got from a different freelancer. She says that like about 50 euros an hour is like the thing you should take to make a living comfortably. Not, you won't get rich on that. It's just that which leaves you as a freelance with all the stuff you have to pay. You need to make that amount of money to sort of survive. And so making these books isn't something which I can sort of count as making money to survive. If you get me, because it's like 800 euros, and that's before taxes, because $1,000 minus 200 for the printing is 800, and that minus the taxes, that will be leaving me like with 600 maybe euros, and that's less than 2 days work. I mean, two full days work, I would already have made this kind of money. So yeah, I'm not saying that it's not a cool thing to make books like these, but I hadn't thought this through. I hadn't gone through, whether it would be worth it for me, because the time I always have to spend afterwards. And I kind of had it dark in my mind that also with the shipping of the other books, and sort of checking, is this the right stamp for the right book? Then also customs, you have to print out little customs etiquettes and write down the weight and everything. There's so many niggly little details that go into selling stuff. I really have to produce something which makes it worth it while. So a book like this, and I'm not saying that I don't want to make books or anything, but a little book like this has nearly the same amount of work after the printing, I'm talking after printing, as has a book like, say, of 200 pages, which I can price far higher, where it sort of makes it worthwhile the time of writing the invoices and stuff, which I already mentioned. So that was a learning for me, so because I used to think, oh yes, and I'll also sell postcards in my my shop and everything, but writing an invoice for every little postcard I sell and everything. I mean, obviously people will probably buy a book and a postcard, but then that's already this, okay, this is a different kind of order. I have to write a different invoice. So, you know, I think you get my point. I hadn't thought that selling stuff in a little shop would be that much pain in the ass, especially also with the taxes, which I've sent this much paper to my tax woman, and I'm still really interested in what she'll tell me, how, if I've done it right and everything. So yeah, and I really love having little books like these, and now it's a shame I've already come this far that I don't want to even print them. The work I put into it hasn't come to waste, because I'm thinking that I will do a big book now. I was thinking of doing a big book on top of it, but sort of excluding the Inktober's and printing an Inktober book every year. But I don't want to have all this work more than it has to be, and making 2 different books and then maybe also reprinting the other one or stuff. I just don't think that it's for me. I mean, I do enjoy the packaging and everything. It's fun, but it's just fun for like the first 50, and then it gets really tedious. Also, other things which I thought which is time consuming, and I thought, oh yeah, maybe I could just sort of add a little drawing inside, but then add a drawing to 100 books. That's also again time is money. I don't want to sound cheap or anything, but in my case, it is like, yes, time is money, because that's my living. I'm working for a living with this. So making a book like this, you can't sort of do it as work. You have to do it in your spare time, sort of just as like a little hobby project. And for that, yeah, you really have to really think it through if it's worth the time. Because I enjoy making little books, but I don't really enjoy all the rest afterwards. The packaging isn't the worst thing, but also all the printing stuff out and keeping track of what is who, and it really stresses me out. And to think that I'm starting as a businesswoman now, sort of my own business and everything, and I should focus on other stuff. I need to focus on sort of jobs that really pay, and yeah, and maybe I'm not saying I won't do projects like this ever again. I just think that it's not the right time at the moment, and I should think about what projects I want to do properly. So yeah, doing little Inktober books was a nice kind of idea, and I think I'll add the little PDF I made to the books tier, even though it's not an actual printed book. It's just a chapter of my future book. But hey, I've got the PDF and I like it. And if you'll enjoy it, I mean, you've got the scans anyway already, so it's just nicely put together. But yeah, it's a shame that this won't be printed like this way, but I can't sort of justify the work afterwards. Maybe just a small amount. I don't know, 20 or something, which I can gift to somebody or giveaways. I don't know yet, but I don't think so. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if this is helpful for you or anything. I just wanted to talk about this, what goes into a shop, and what stuff you have to think about, and yeah, how to go about projects like this. And so just before you start work on anything, do the math, think about what you want to sell, how much is it worth it, is it what you want to do, and yeah, so that was that. Hope you enjoyed. Bye bye.